What's up, guys? Welcome to today's video. Hope you guys are having a great week so far. Today's video is going to be talking about my Airbnb and the profits that I made last month, which was October 2022. The bookings surprisingly actually pick up here in the wintertime in Arizona. It's usually the opposite throughout other parts of the country where the summertime is the busiest, but we just went through the slowest time of the year for Airbnb, and I've had mine active since February of this year, so I've pretty much been through two cycles, or two seasons, I would say, the winter time and then the summertime, spring as well, and we're going through the fall right now. So let's break it down for you guys. I want to talk about some of the numbers, some of the struggles that I've had, and then also give you guys some projections for 2023, because I think I can make this even more profitable than it is. It's not anything absolutely insane, but I'm very grateful that I ended up moving through with this Airbnb, because it was quite expensive and I was on the fence about it when I originally bought it. For those of you guys that don't know, my Airbnb is located in Chandler, Arizona. It's an 1,800 square foot house. I spent about $130,000 renovating the property. Basically took it from a time capsule from the 1980s and brought it up to a more modernized style home. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, single story with a pool in the back. And one of the best incentives about my specific Airbnb, I think, is the fact that it is backed to a beautiful park, which has a big incentive for a lot of people that have pets or kids. And then it obviously has a beautiful backyard as well with the heated pool. One of the biggest struggles that I dealt with when I first launched my Airbnb was the amount of missed bookings that I had because my pool was not heated. So I immediately spent $8,000 after I got like 15 or 20 inquiries about questions. Hey, is your pool heated? I want to book it. And I had to turn down every single one of those. I was like, it's worth spending $8,000 and getting this booked out for the winter time. So here we go. Let's break it down for you guys. So for the month of October, I had an occupancy rate of 80%, which seems to be pretty average throughout the entire year. But the big thing with the seasonality here is I have the same occupancy for the most part. It may shift 5-10%, but my average daily rate drops significantly. In the summer times, it'll drop about half of what I can get in the peak months, which is January, February, March, April here in Arizona. So I only had 6 of the 31 days that were not occupied, and it's always the weekdays. Every single weekend, I can almost guarantee you every single weekend for the entire year will be booked out in 2023. The weekends go the fastest by far. I don't remember the last time I had a Friday or Saturday not occupied. Sometimes I'll get a Sunday not occupied, but I usually will get someone through the entire weekend. So when I realized that, I started offering, because it was more difficult for me to get the middle of the week, like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursdays were a lot more difficult. So for a lot of the summer months, I had these gaps, like 3-day gaps. I almost had every single Tuesday and Wednesday not booked out. So I was like, what can I do to kind of fill that up without raising my average daily rate for every single night? So I started offering weekly discounts, which kind of incentivized people to have longer bookings, meaning the Tuesday and Wednesdays would get booked up if it was booked for an entire week. So I started offering a 20% discount on 7-day stays or longer, and that did help a little bit. It started getting a little bit longer stays because people wanted to take advantage of that 20% off, and it worked out in my benefit because it filled up some of these gaps that are really hard to fill up. Like once you get like a Tuesday or Wednesday that are isolated where that's the only day available, it becomes very hard. Like this one right here, the 26th, I almost knew I was never going to get this one booked out, or the 20th, I was never going to get it booked out, because it takes a very specific person or someone that needs it for a specific day to actually book these out. Whenever I do get these last minute bookings, it's usually something with Airbnb where their previous booking fell through. I actually had a pretty big stay last week where they booked it about 2 hours before they came because their previous host canceled on them. I'll get some insurance stuff. I had someone in the middle of the summer that stayed for a few days last minute because their air conditioning broke at their house, so they had an insurance claim and they came over and got it paid for through their insurance staying at my Airbnb. So I had no VRBO bookings this month. I actually don't have any for the rest of the year. It's still very heavily Airbnb, although I did have 3 or 4 VRBO bookings in the summertime. And then as you guys can see here, I had a few days that were blocked out actually because I had a booking that was off Airbnb. So it was a good friend of mine and his family came into town, so we did it off Airbnb, and it worked out for both of us. He got a significant discount, and then I didn't have to pay any of the Airbnb fees as well. And I only suggest doing this if you know the person personally, because if anything happens with the property, Airbnb will not cover you. So you have to be careful with that, but it worked out great. And then the rest of these bookings you guys see right here were all Airbnb, and you guys can get a good idea. Like, a lot of these stays that I have are one night stays. One of the debates I was having when I first launched it is, do I want to make a minimum stay 2 nights? And I ended up leaving it at one night, and I haven't had a problem with it so far. I've had a couple parties where they left it pretty trashed in the backyard, but besides that, everyone's been pretty respectful, and I see value in leaving my minimum stay to just one night. Yes, if you made your minimum stay 2 nights, it will pretty much eliminate everyone that wants to party, because anyone that books it for one night's most likely going to have like a bachelorette party, or they're a local just trying to have a bigger house or a nicer house or a house with a pool. They most likely will be having a party. So obviously the best stays are the longer ones, even at a significant discount. Those are so much nicer. It's always a family, always more respectful, and just always easier to work with. So now that you guys see the calendar, let's move on to the actual earnings for this month. Let's bring my back down here and go like this. So the earnings for this month were, or October, excuse me, were $5,571. And then I also had a $500 from that off-market booking. So it was about, just over $6,000 in earnings from Airbnb for the month of October. I just wanted to show you guys this chart, and then I can show you guys the occupancy rate. This is obviously skewed because I had I had the off-market booking as well. And then my cleaning fee, which is what I wanted to show you guys down here, was $1,655. I charge my guests, whenever I charge them, it rolls directly over to my cleaners. So I don't take any cleaning fees. I know a lot of people complain about that. It's like, why am I paying $180? I only stayed here one night. If you stay there one night, or if you stay there for an entire month, the cleaning process is the same exact thing no matter what. So yes, it doesn't make as much sense, and it's a little bit more frustrating if you're only staying 1 or 2 nights and you still have to pay the same price, but that it is what it is. I pay my cleaners the same amount. It doesn't change anything. You don't do anything different for someone that stays longer. So that's that. Now let's move on to the actual numbers of this property. I broke it down into 2 different columns here. You guys will be able to see on the left sides all my expenses, on the right sides the generated revenue that I had for this month. My fixed expenses are my expenses that are going to be the same every single month no matter what. There may be a change in like my taxes, which I'll adjust, but it's not every single month it changes. So my mortgage is my PITI, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance on the properties all included, $1,445. My pool service is $140 a month. My landscapers, I found a good deal on that. He's only $30 a month. He may raise that coming up here. We'll see. My Hulu subscription is $8. I could probably get rid of it because at this point there's so many subscription accounts like just logged in from past guests that they have pretty much every single thing they can think of: HBO, Hulu, Netflix. I don't even know the other subscription-based TV subscriptions, but they're almost all on there from previous guests just leaving it logged in, but it's only $8 a month. I do have solar on this property that was conveyed to me from the previous owner. I cannot get out of that. Solar lease is $87 a month. This will gradually increase over the next 10 years that I own it, but I like to think it saves me a little bit of money. Wi-Fi is $80 a month, and my coffee subscription is $15 a month. I get basically 30 espresso pods sent to me every 6 weeks, I believe, which equals out 6 to 8 weeks, which equals out to about $15 a month. And this seems to be the sweet spot for where I don't have to order coffee on my own. It kind of just replenishes itself, and that's the only subscription that I have. I don't have like a body wash subscription, or I don't have a paper towel subscription, or toilet paper subscription, and this all equals out to about $1,800 a month, which is what I know I'm going to be spending. Even if it's fully vacant, I will be spending this. One-off expenses or capital expenditures, I like to think of them like, okay, I ran out of paper towels this month, so for example, in October I ran out of body wash. I ran out of propane, which I had to get those refilled, and someone actually broke a lamp, which I'll loop back around to a little bit later here. But and then I just paid my assistant to go out. Damn, excuse. And then I paid my assistant to go out there and actually refill the propane and stuff like that, and then some smaller stuff. So the labor was $30, which makes my one-off expenses $125 a month, which is awesome. If I can keep my one-offs or my like miscellaneous expenses under around $100 a month, that is a great sign, because I've had one-off expenses upwards of over $1,000 a month for pool repairs and stuff like that. So 125 is great for me. Cleaning fees, like I said, $1,660. So I made $5 on cleaning fees. But what I do is on Sundays, I pay my cleaner a little bit more. I pay her a lot more. I pay her $80 more on Sunday. Dang. I pay her $80 more on Sunday, and it's only Sunday because that's normally her day off with her family. So I'm like, okay, if you're going to go work, then I'll pay you a little bit more. She ends up bringing her family anyways, and they go swimming in the pool when she's cleaning and stuff like that. But so it kind of comes out in the wash where I pay a little bit less than what I'm charging on the weekdays, but then I pay her a little bit more than what I'm charging guests on Sundays. So I try to make it as even as possible. This month, I happen to make $5 on it. The last month, I know I lost money on it, but not very much. My electric bill, hopefully this will stay around the same, $175. In the summertime, it was peaking around the $350 to $400 range, even with solar. What happens in the wintertime is, yes, you use less AC or air conditioning, but the pool heater stays on, so it usually balances out. Water, trash, usually pretty much the same, which makes my monthly total expenses $3,819. In the bigger picture, this is pretty low. I've had monthly expenses upwards of $5,000 some months, so pretty happy with that. Hopefully, stuff like this, like my monthly totals, will hopefully get lower and lower and lower as I dial down and dial in my Airbnb even more. Airbnb payout. So now this is what I generated. $3,916 from nightly fees from what I charge my guests. Off-market payout was the $500 stay. Cleaning fees was $1,655. The special booking charge was $100, which wasn't added in the Airbnb payout that you guys saw in the previous PDF. Someone asked to extend their stay past their checkout time, and I was like, you can do that right now. It's the following day is not booked out. So if you pay me half of what the daily rate is, which is my ADR at that time was 200, I was like, if you pay me 100, I'll let you stay through the rest of the night, and I'll just block out the day. So that's what happened with that one. She ended up just staying probably till like 6 p.m. the following day. So I just booked out the whole day. It worked out for both of us because I don't think it was going to get booked out regardless. And then I ended up charging the Airbnb guest that broke the lamp $20 because it was a $20 lamp. So that came out in the wash, making my total take home on this, or my total revenue, $6,191 minus my monthly expenses of $3,819, makes my October total profit $2,372. Now, I wanted to do some monthly averages here and some yearly averages. My average monthly profit so far has been $2,668 a month. Now, I am missing the entire month of January, and I still don't have a lot of December booked out quite yet. So I can almost guarantee if I started or if I launched my Airbnb a month previously, my average monthly expenses would likely be over $3,000 a month. But because I missed out on one of the peak months this year, it's just showing a little bit lower, which makes my yearly average profit $32,016. My average occupancy rate has been 75 to 80% this year, which I think is really solid. I don't need any more. It'd be a lot harder to get even higher than that. My goal for 2023 is not to get a higher occupancy rate, but it's to lower my monthly expenses, my one-off expenses, to make things run a little bit smoother, and to potentially increase my average daily rate certain months a little bit higher as well. So 2023 projections or goals, I would say, I want $3,500. I think I can get $3,500 average monthly profit once I tighten things up a little bit. My average, which would make my average yearly profit $42,000, which is pretty good for one single property. And then you also get all the other benefits of Airbnbs, where you can block it out if you want to have a party. You can block it out if your family's coming to town. Just a cool little thing to have. Now, my occupancy rate, I'm not changing my occupancy rate goal. I'm happy with the occupancy. I can just increase my profits elsewhere. That's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't think I have anything else to talk about in this video. Hopefully I'll make a video every single month on my profits. I skipped the last couple months. They were around $1,500 profits, so nothing crazy. But in the winter time, hopefully I'll be able to pull out some $6,000 to $8,000 monthly profits in the peak season here. I'll see you guys soon. Let me drop a like, drop a comment. Any video suggestions are super helpful. Follow me on TikTok, follow me on Instagram. Thanks.